That is so cool.
And that's the kid, everybody. No further explanation needed, right? We can just
Yeah, that's
be on
the show.
All right, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, yeah. So let's get into it. Obviously, we just saw a lot of really cool stuff there, and we're still seeing it. I mean, like we told y'all, the boat never goes away. My boy is boating all the time, 24/7.
Oh yeah, this was a huge challenge for our various teams because
Really?
we wanted to do this from the get-go, where we always wanted him to be on the boat, and so that created some challenges, right? It's like, how do we tie the fairy to the man? How do we make sure that he feels like a really concise, cool character? And you'll see here that he does a lot of really interesting little animations. He's got some effects touches all across the board, and he just turned out so sick. I'm so proud of all our various teams. And this jump sound, by the way, is
It's
so
cool.
satisfying.
It's got the boat noise.
It's got like a little kerplunk, kerplunk.
Yeah.
It's
I
so
literally
fun.
spent all weekend in a canoe, and like boat noises I have been hearing. This is so real. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm just so proud of our various teams and how they came together to take on such a challenging visual and really just make it go crazy. But that's enough about the visuals. Let's talk about the kit a little
Let's
bit
talk
more,
about the
shall we?
kit. I mean, and we'll start with the very simple. Let's go with the basic attacks. I see him splashing people with that ore.
So Charon has traditional ranged basic attacks. They are just basic attacks, but they're ranged.
attacks.
It's pretty unique for a Guardian to
I was about
have
to say,
ranged
the
basics.
only other one I can think of off the top of my head is Sylvanas, except his are like AoEs.
Yeah, Yamoja also has these
Yamoja,
kind of
you're right.
normal basic attacks, but she does have a little extra component where if you basic attack allies, it
healing,
does something.
yeah.
This is just standard ranged basic attacks, and we thought that this worked out really well for Charon because he's on a boat, right? He kind of
Yeah.
has this area in front of him that makes it a little bit difficult to be in melee range, so we wanted to kind of give you the best of both worlds, where it kind of looks like if they're getting close to the boat, you slap them with the oar. If they're far away, they get hit by a scary deluge of water. River Styx water, especially. That was the other challenge, is incorporating the River Styx water into the boat and making the boat feel like it's actually, boating around, even though
not
he
just
is
dragging across the
technically
dirt.
on land. But he's making a little trail behind him.
Yeah, that's super awesome. So I guess next we'll dive into the passive. So what's his passive?
Yes, Charon's passive is Ferryman of Souls, and so this will require some minions or some jungle camps here, but basically how this works is that whenever Charon is in assist range when a friendly lane minion or a neutral jungle monster dies, yes, both of them, they will leave behind their soul in the form of a coin on the ground. And so Charon is able to pick up these coins, and each time that he does, he gets 1 gold in his pocket, and he keeps a special soul stack. And he can have up to 20 of these soul stacks. And so you're probably wondering, what the heck do I do with these soul stacks? Well, anytime that you take a soul stack back to base, you trade it in, and then you get 2 max health permanently throughout the rest of the game. So you can see here, picking up some souls. That passive meter number has lit up to be 3. He's picked up 3 coins, some tolls. And when you go back to base, which, look at this animation, by the way, it's so cool. You turn him in, that is 6 extra max health for the rest of the game.
That
And
is super awesome.
you'll see as well that you can only have up to 350 max health gained this
Not
way.
infinite. That's good.
Yes.
That's all I would do is stay in lane and farm minions.
Yes, and even if you're ever at maxed soul stacks, you still will get gold even if you hit that cap. So don't have to worry about being super extra efficient with this. But, when you hit 20, it's nice to go back to base and get that nice little refresh, get a nice 40 extra max HP. And again, that lasts for the entire rest of the game.
That is super duper awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I had something I was going to say, but it just kind of sums down to I'm excited. Although I do have it on good authority that my soul is actually worth 6 dimes and 4 pennies.
Oh.
So, if I happen to die...
Well, that's not 1 obol, so I'm so sorry, but you're not going to make it.
Okay. All right, well, now that I'm
You
uncomfortable...
have to go to currency.
I got to go to the exchange. Yeah, I'll hit an ATM. So let's go to the first ability, Spectral Surge.
Yes, so this AO1 is a line projectile that explodes if it hits an enemy god. So basically, it'll just do normal damage if it's just passing through minions. This can also go through walls. But as soon as you shoot it over an enemy god, you'll see there's a circle that appears. And so, inside of this circle, anyone that gets hit by it does take damage. You don't get double hit if you get hit by the projectile and the explosion.
Okay.
And then you get silenced for 1 second. On top of that, though, you can see there's a little ground particle and some extra damage going on. And so what's happening here is that every time that you move while you are affected by this debuff,
Why are they not? Huh?
it's probably lagging a little bit. Oh no.
I may have broken them.
Oh, no.
You should be able to bots orbit 0 and it might fix it.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. A little bit difficult to show here, folks, but you got to trust me on this one. Anytime that you move, you'll make a new puddle. And every time that you make a new puddle, you'll take damage. And so you also will take damage for the duration of the puddle, however long that lasts. and be slowed as well. So this is effectively slow, silent puddle.
And what I'd argue is the strongest ability because he splashes you and then you have to run around with wet socks.
Oh no.
Not the wet
terrible.
socks ability.
The wet
hate
socks
this.
ability. All right, that's super cool though. I like the trailing because if you're in a team fight in the jungle and you hit like 3 people and all of a sudden everywhere you step is just
Yeah.
that's super awesome. All right, excited to play with that. Next up, we have the second ability, Damnation.
Yeah, so this one's super cool. So what Charon does here is he opens up a rift to the underworld and calls upon some spirits to haunt whoever is in the area. So it does damage, and it also then marks whatever enemy is in the area, as you shall see here momentarily. There's our opening the rift to the underworld. And if an enemy gets hit, there's a little skull on their head. That's their little mark.
That's spooky boy.
They're haunted here. And so what happens when they're haunted is that they are revealed, and their attack speed's also slow. But on top of that, if you, as Charon, or any of your allies, damages anyone that is marked, you get a shield.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so how this shield worked is that there is an initial value that you get, and every subsequent shield gives you 25% of that value. So you can keep stacking up that shield, keep fighting back if you want to, but you're only going to get 25% of that initial hit. So it is important to hit that one time, get that nice little buff, and then if you want to walk away, you can walk away, or you can just keep fighting into them, because again, they are attack speed slowed, they are revealed. It's just a good turnaround ability for him.
And a super good trade ability too, for sure.
Yeah.
Since it works on allies too. That's awesome. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that's super cool. And I like the little skull too. I don't know. He's got big old eyes.
And yeah, so this works also once per basic attack or ability. It's not going to work multiple times if you have like Anubis one where you're taking a bunch. Only one time
Only
per
that first
ability.
time.
Yep.
That's good to know. All right. So next up we have the third ability, which I'm super fond of, Swift Voyage.
Yes, this ability turned out so fun. So this is a dash ability where you, as Charon, will forcibly row forward at a breakneck pace. And so you'll go forward with increased movement speed and reduced turn radius for a couple seconds there. And as you see, he's got a little bit of a wake going on at his side.
So cool.
So this ability is a root, but depending on how accurately you're hitting it, if you hold out that targeter for a second, you'll see there's a center line and outer lines. That center line will root for 1 second, and the outer lines will root for half a second. And of course, as you'll see here, after rooting a bunch in a row, you will TR. So trust me, 1 second and 0.5 seconds, but yeah, you kind of just get to row people over with your boat, and it's very, very fun.
Accidents be happening on the river Styx. I love it.
He has insurance. It's okay.
That's where do you think he puts all his coins? Smart investor.
Exactly.
Oh man, I am so sad that it's taken us this long to have a beautiful boat in game. Like everything about this is perfect, but we have to get here. We've been working towards this moment in time. It's the ult summon Styx.
This ability is so cool, and I'm so excited to see people play with it. So how this ability works is that Charon charges for a fairly long duration. He gets crowd control immunity as well during this, and then he's going to summon a massive tidal wave that is global. So a lot of our times in playtests, we've had people try and cross-map snipe with this, which has been a lot of fun. And the other cool part of this is that any time that you hit an enemy with the wave, they are feared back towards the direction of the wave. So not towards Charon, towards the direction that the wave is going. So you can see there, it's going and going and going and going and
going.
It's just gonna go until it leaves the map, and then it's gone.
That is so awesome. And
but that's not the only thing it does.
Please
it does
keep
more.
going.
So you can also use this as a defensive tool to set up yourself and allies. The first thing that this does is anytime that you hit an ally with the wave, they gain some protections for a short amount of time. And if you decide that you also want to charge along with the wave, it has a 60-unit area behind it that grants you a pretty significant movement speed boost. So you can say, all right, boys, let's get in there. Drop the ultimate. Everyone's charging along. And one thing that you'll see Clumsy do here in a second is if you want to just drop the ultimate and then 3 alongside it, you can stick along this if you have a movement ability for a long, long time. It feels so epic to be able to charge in alongside your team with this wave, and especially if you're sending enemies back into you, they're going to get hit into a root, into a silence. He's got a lot of tools here, and as you'll notice, not a whole lot of damage. So he does have a lot of CC. He's very CC oriented. He's great at engaging. He's not so good at the whole stopping, peeling thing. He's definitely really good at being a distraction, and that's what he does best, I think. He's there to help and hurt. He's got that uniquely neutral perspective, because he's not a good guy, he's not a bad guy either, though. He's just trying to keep order, and this is how he's doing it, by fearing the enemy team back into you give an ally shield, all that fun stuff.
That is so cool. And I can already think of, as an Atlas stan myself, and a Guardian lover, I can already think of a beautiful combo where you throw his global wave ult and Atlas a laser beam ult, and between the water and getting a tan, I'm going to call that the day at the beach combo. So
Hey!
super excited for that. But no, this is incredible. Again, I love the aesthetic. I love the boat. And I said this with E-Shell's first skin a little while ago. Every time I see a new god come out, like Lancelot had a horse, and every time they've made a skin for my boy Lance, the horse, I'm always trying to hop on and see what does it look like, how did they change the horse for this skin. And now I have a boat to do that with. I have a Guardian that I am already in love with. And every time, whenever it is Charon gets a skin, I'll just get to be like, well, what's the boat look like?
What's the boat? That's the question, right? But I have to give so many huge shout-outs to the team that worked on Charon alongside me. I'm just like, our programmer Nate did a phenomenal job. He also worked with me on Martikaros, so this is the second god that we got a chance to work on together.